Hi everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United lose 3-0 to the Manchester City in the Manchester Derby. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I somewhat struggle with some reaction to United fans who just seem to like to lose. It's almost like they want to lose so that they can sack the manager, which I find, baffling. I mean, we've had a super chat come in from Narnbread who says, you can't keep making excuses. Erik Ten Hag picks the team and this is on him. It's time for change. Look, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a hard stream to do. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm fed up of having to, do this. Every year it seems to be the same. And I suppose that's the answer, isn't it? I had to have a quick look on social media before I started. And to see the amount of people saying it's time for change, the manager needs to go. I mean, I'm just going to throw you this. I wish people would listen. If he beats Fulham next week, he's the quickest manager to get to 50 wins in our history, in our entire history. So, I don't, it's exhausting. It's exhausting banging your head against the brick wall. We're not playing well at the moment. We've not played well this season. I completely agree. But how can you sack a manager that's going to be the quickest manager to get to 50 wins in our history? How can explain that one to me? How can you sack a manager that's going to be the quickest manager to get to 50 wins in our history? He massively overachieved last year, and that's why people want him out now. If it had just had a steady year one, people would be fine. It's incredible. And also, point two, how can you sack a manager when you've been in this position 4 times before? What do you think is going to change if you sack a manager, right? I can see people on Twitter and on the live chat saying, sack the manager, it's time for change. Okay, what happens then? We're in £800 million of debt. We've used up all our loans and all our ability to bring money in. You're going to sack Ten Hag, that's going to cost you in excess of 10, 15, 20 million. You're going to get another manager in that you can't get because you're going to have to pay compensation for them. The new manager's going to come in with a different style of play and wants his own players and is going to want another 400 million spending on him. What's he going to do with the fresh Ten Hag players? What's he going to do with the Maguires and the McTominays that won't go? What's he going to do with the Rashfords and the Brunos and the Martials? I mean, just stop trying to find a quick fix with this football club and own it like I am. We lost. We've lost. The club is broken. There are many clubs in this country, there are many clubs in the world who have fans who stick with their club, but they're shit and they're never going to do anything. And we were a great club. We were Manchester United. We were one of the best teams in the world, but we're not anymore. We're broken. Stop looking for a quick fix. We're owned by the Glazers. They've run the club into the ground. There is no quick fix. The only opportunity we had was that they left and we got a brand new owner that cleared the debt. That didn't happen. We lost. We're finished. We're done. We're not turning this around. Stop looking up the table and thinking we should be in the top 4. Villa are better than us. Spurs are better than us. Brighton are better than us. Liverpool are better than us. Arsenal are better than us. Man City are better than us. They're all better than us. Stop thinking you're going to sack a manager and we're suddenly going to challenge for the league. Accept the reality. We're shit. We're broken. The manager's not responsible and the manager's not going to change it. It's not going to happen. We are what we are. And the reason for that goes right to the top and runs right the way through down. I've seen people say Bruno's shit, Rashford's shit, McTominay's shit, Maguire's shit. They've been here for years. They've played for Ranić. They've played for Ollie. They've both been got rid of. They're still here. Maybe that's a lesson. Maybe some of these players that survive and get managers sacked shouldn't be here. Maybe the manager should be sacked. Maybe it's on Richard Arnold. Maybe it's on the fitness department. Maybe it's on the Glazers. Or hello, maybe this is a novel idea. Maybe it's a collective. Maybe some of the players are shit. Maybe the manager is responsible. Maybe the Glazers are the real problem. Maybe the CEO's the problem. Maybe the recruitment's the problem. Maybe the fitness department's the problem. Maybe, just maybe, the way the club is run from top to bottom is shit and individualising it lets everybody else get away with it. Because when you sack a manager, it becomes their fault. When Ollie got sacked, it was his fault. When Mourinho got sacked, it was his fault. When Ranić got rid of, it was his fault. The media love doing this. Listen to Neville on his commentary. You can feel him almost wanting to say Ten Hag out the whole game. It's always the manager. We always change the manager and nothing ever changes. We change the manager, they have a good year, and then then it all goes wrong. I'm getting tired of watching this team. They don't care, says Daniel. Rashford is not even trying and the back line is so slow. McTominay is so bad it's sickening, says Daniel. I like Ten Hag, but please explain those half-time substitutions, says Andy. Manchester United officially hit rock bottom, says Blake. I mean, I disagree. I disagree. So many people were saying we were going to get beat. And then we get beat and everyone's acting like it's a shock. Like, I'm not Erik Ten Hag about, but I'm absolutely sick of him keeping Rashford and McTominay on and subbing players like Amrabat and Højlund. It needs calling out, says Jayash. Look, Ten Hag is probably going to sack himself. I mean, as a fan of Ten Hag, I would completely agree with you that he probably is going to sack himself. I don't know what's going on with YouTube today. It's definitely not my internet. I don't know what's going on with it. I apologise if you're having issues. It's not even dropping out on the stream health for me. And I've got no drops there, frames on my streaming service. So I don't know what's going on. Apologies if anyone else is getting any problems with this. I don't know whether you're getting problems on other platforms as well. I don't know what's going on. But if you are having a problem, I apologise for that. Look, there are things to talk about with Ten Hag. I completely agree. There's no two ways about it. You have got to talk about that. But yeah, it's so difficult to get your head around the situation without, you live in a world where people just get very angry and they're abusive and they're vile and they'll calm down. And I think some people just need to calm down because I don't see the point in individualizing this on one manager. Even if Casemiro had been fit, even if Varane and Martinez had been fit, I still don't think we win that game. I still don't think we play any different. We might play a little bit better, but I think Man City are just better than us. Do you reckon Erik Ten Hag has the same authority over these players as he did last year? Has to be a reason why they're not clicking. Injuries obviously play a part, says Colin. Well, look, if you look at the game in general, and we're going to do the player ratings in a minute, but if you look at the game in general, our best player on the pitch for me is Onana. And I feel that Onana is man of the match for his shot-stopping capabilities, of which we always praised David De Gea for. And Onana today had a really good game and he would be my man of the match. But that's only because he had so much to do. I mean, Erling Haaland could have had 4 or 5 goals. So we bought... Look, let's talk about the mistakes. Mason Mount is a mistake at the moment. Like, he is a mistake. He's not starting games and then he comes on for 45 minutes and he's the invisible man. I don't get what Mason Mount's all about. I really don't. Amrabat came in too late and he subs him off at half-time all the time. Onana, we let one of the world's best shot stoppers go to bring a goalkeeper in who can play out from the back, and then we haven't got centre-backs who can take the ball off him. So we spent 50 million quid on a goalkeeper to play out from the back, and we haven't got anyone he can pass to because they don't want the ball. But it's baffling, really. Mark, just stop. If Pep was our manager, we'd be miles better. No, mate. I don't know whether you watch the United stand, but I've said this for years. I don't think Pep Guardiola does do anything at Man United, and I'm not stressed. I'm not angry. I'm not losing my shit here like some of you are. But I've said that for years. There is no way that Pep Guardiola makes this team any better. Like, you're telling me that Marcus Rashford's going to play like Bernardo Silva and Scott McTominay's going to play like Rodri and Harry Maguire's going to play like John Stones. You're having a laugh. You're just saying something to try and be edgy, and you're talking out your arse. Pep Guardiola's not going to make those players work, and he wouldn't take the job anyway. Ten Hag needs to stop making subs in the 85th minute, says Sharath, and not about the result. It's about the subs, the coaching. We have quality players that turn up for their country. We still lost as a team, says Chunk. I don't think Amrabat will make it here. That's tough because it was one the coach wanted, says Sifu. And we were poor today, but the VAR decision, which was ridiculously soft, set the tone for the match, says Tom. There's a massive problem with YouTube today, by the way. I've got people looking at it, and apologies, but apparently it's YouTube-wide. It's been YouTube-wide all day, and apologies for that if you're getting problems with it. Nothing there. We were poor today, but the VR decision, says Tom. Thank you very much. But, going back to what I said before, I I have to continue with the stream because it's working for some people. So what I was saying before is that when I look at the game today, there's a few things that stand out. But overarching, I can't be arsed with Carragher, Neville, Keown, Merson, and all these other part-time people who don't watch football and certainly don't watch our club and certainly aren't aware of what is going on at our football club. When Man City beat you 3-0, it's not the game to start saying, I don't see a style of play. I don't see it. I don't see it because it's Man City. Man City are way better than us. You talk about that against Copenhagen. You talk about it against Sheffield United. That's absolutely fine. But I'll say it again. And I'll have this conversation with anyone. You know, I'm not the coward like Gary Neville. I'm not the coward like Jamie Carragher. I'm not the coward like Danny Murphy. You know, slag me off, do whatever you want, say what you say about the United stand. But I'm not the coward. I will sit and have a conversation with any of them. And they can tell me Ten Hag needs to go. And I will sit there and say, what, like Mourinho needed to go? Like Ollie needed to go? Like Rangnick needed to go? Like Van Gaal needed to go? How's that going to work then? Another manager comes in, loads of players from lots of different managers. Like, how about we get rid of the Glazers? How about we get a new director of football? How about we get a new, new coaching setup, a new fitness coach? You know, how about we look at the things that are causing us problems? Because there is no doubt that when you play a back four with Lindelof, Maguire, Evans and Dalot in it, and you lose 3-0 to Man City, why are you surprised? I mean, I look at it today, and this is where I will be critical of Ten Hag now. I look at it today, and he said before the game, it was tactical not to pick Reguilon and Varane. And I don't believe it for 1 minute, but if he has picked Raphael Varane and Reguilon to be on the bench so that he can pick Evans and Lindelof, he may as well sack himself. There is no way, absolutely no way, that was his intent today. I guarantee you Varane wasn't fit enough to play for the full game and Reguilon wasn't fit to play for the full game. There's absolutely no way that was his intent. We get told, you know, this club needs to stop being run by the media as well. Player power and the media destroy Manchester United. They try and make out it's on people like ourselves. They try and make it out it's on United fans. You know, Man United fans get absolutely slaughtered for saying that Maguire's not good enough. And then you get the press making up manipulative lies about how good Maguire is. You've got Paul Merson talking about it, Martin Keown talking about it. Man United are so much better with Harry Maguire in the team. Put your hand up if you knew today it was going to go wrong with Maguire and Evans at centre-back. Now, I'm not saying Maguire's the worst player on the pitch. We'll do the player ratings in a minute. But he ain't good enough to play for Man United. He's not good enough. He's too slow. He's slower than Sky Sports News breaking a transfer story. And we're playing him against Erling Haaland. The third goal, Rodri shoots. Every other Man United player reacts. Maguire's still on the edge of the box. Like, he's too slow. He's too slow to play at the highest level. He's fine in a low block with somebody quick next to him in a team that's going to have a lot of the ball. But he ain't good enough. And all we've had for 2 weeks is how good McTominay is. Oh, he gets it. Oh, he gets what playing for Man United is all about. Oh, how good Maguire is. We're so good when Maguire plays. Oh, I hope this is the redemption arc. Oh, yeah. They're not good enough. No hate, no abuse. They're not good enough. Johnny Evans ain't good enough. Harry Maguire ain't good enough. Scott McTominay ain't good enough. Eriksson ain't good enough to play as a holding midfielder. Bruno's not good enough to be on the right wing. You know, that's before we talk about Rashford's form, the lack of service to Højlund, Lindelof at left back. They're not good enough. They're not good enough. And we have this media agenda that, oh, Maguire needs to play. He needs to play. The stats when he plays are great. And I take no satisfaction in saying this, but those stats were a lie. That win ratio with Maguire was based on the fact that he hardly played last year. And when he did play last year, he was playing at home to Reading. He was playing at home to fucking Everton. He wasn't playing against Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal or tough games. He plays today, and Erling Haaland, who is his responsibility with Johnny Evans, Erling Haaland scores 2 goals and should have scored another 2. Erling Haaland had 4 sitters today. That's on Maguire and that's on Evans. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different response. The worst player on the pitch for me was Scott McTominay. He was a joke as a number 10. I know he had a shot, but he was a joke. In the first 5 minutes, we And this is what I mean about people who say we haven't got a style of play. We're number 1 in the league this season for winning the ball back high up the pitch. We have got a style of play. We're just shit when we win it back. In the first 5 minutes, Bruno wins the ball back in a good position high up the pitch. Passes it to McTominay. Rashford makes the right move to be slipped in one-on-one. McTominay, head down, loses the ball. That was symbolic of why we don't have a style of play. Because everybody does it. Rashford would do it. Anthony would do it. Bruno would do it. McTominay did it. We win the ball up high up the pitch. And we fucking do nothing with it. Because we haven't got the players to do it. They don't know. In the second half, McTominay does it again. He wins the ball back. He's in the final third. He runs into a Man City player. We're winning the ball high up the pitch. We just don't know what to do with it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm just looking at the second goal here. It's crap. It's crap. Not picking up the midfield runners all season. Not picking up the midfield runners. It's so bad. It's so bad. And ultimately, we can talk about Ten Hag, and he has got his selections wrong. Mason Mount coming on, killed us. McTominay going to holding midfielder, killed us. Eriksson's should be nowhere near holding midfielder. He hasn't got the legs. Bruno on the right wing is a fucking joke. Rashford, really, I thought he would do something today. He needs to be taken out of the team. He needs some sort of refresh. But look, the same players keep finding their way back into the team. We tried to sell Maguire in the summer. He's back in the team again. He's the answer. He's not the answer. We've had 3 years of Maguire. We know he's not good enough. Why is he the answer again? McTominay, we've had 6 years of it. He's not good enough. Like, people think it's personal. It's not personal. We just I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being in this position all the time. You have a couple of good results against, with all due respect, shit teams. You play a big team and people wake up again. Like for the last 2 weeks, McTominay's good enough. Johnny Evans is good enough. Maguire's good enough. Well, they're not good enough. We've been here before every fucking time. It's like sacking the manager. We go through these cycles. They do quite well against shit teams. You put them in against the big team, they're shit. Like, if we want to change, we've got to get rid of players. And people say get rid of Ten Hag. Am I right in saying that Ten Hag wanted Maguire to go? Yes. Am I right in saying he wanted McTominay to go? Yes. Am I right in saying he wanted a centre-back? Yes. Am I right in saying he wanted Harry Kane? Yes. Now, he wasn't going to get Harry Kane, I admit that. But if you don't give a manager what they want, the biggest clue to me is that he wanted a ball-playing goalkeeper. Do you really think he wanted Evans and Maguire in front of him? Did he fuck? He wants people who can receive the ball, and he can't do it. So there's loads of problems at Manchester United. Look, critical time. Let me just read some super chats, and then I'll get critical. What did I really think about Ten Hag? Man United have officially at rock bottom. It's only football, but for some fans like me, it's a pick-me-up from watching my terminal mum dying. I'm just gutted, absolutely gutted. This club's ruined it, says Quinn. Well, thoughts with your mum, Quinn, and it is football, like you say, and there are more important things. My concern isn't what's wrong now. My concern is what's next. Without Qatar, how do we fix this? Says Urban News. I don't think Sir Jim Radcliffe can fix this. I don't. Can't be shocked by that performance. City have just won the treble, and we've been scraping wins against Sheffield United. Says Art. Yeah, but some people are acting shocked. Is this fake shock? I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked, but people are acting shocked. I can't believe they didn't see it coming. There's an aptitude of things wrong right now. Our main player's still out. Selling the club and the Sancho saga is affecting the players. Yeah, Amrabat keeps making these dumb fouls when the player isn't even facing the box. We need to get rid of the players that don't care. I told you, Zach, about Amrabat. He gets loads of yellow cards. There'll never be one player that sticks up for Pep. Ten Hag has to play Rashford, else the media will switch on him, says analysts. Players look like he's had a heart attack in the AZ Alkmaar match. Puts perspective on today's United results, says Chris. Yeah, thoughts with him. Hadn't heard of that. Solomon, welcome to the Members Club. If I hear an argument for McTominay in the forum today, I might tear my eyes out, says the Society. I think the forum's going to be very interesting. If you put Man United in La Liga, does Erik Ten Hag still pick this starting 11, says Colin. No shape, no direction, no strategy, says Zhao. Mate, different managers, different players. Different managers, same players. It's a constant problem. YouTube's not working for some people, we know. Paul Cherney dressed up as a Premier League referee for Halloween this weekend, says Keith. Can I just say in relation to the VAR, it's never a penalty. It's never a penalty, but Erling Haaland had 4 sitters. We can argue about the penalty if you want, but I refuse not to talk about it. There's no point talking about the penalty because Erling Haaland had 4 sitters, so we would have lost the game anyway. We didn't score a goal. The officiating is a joke. Look, Man City beat Fulham 5-1. It was still an offside goal. It was still a bad decision. The officiating is a disgrace. You know what? The thing about the Højlund penalty is it's not a penalty, but if you're given a penalty for that, Maguire wrestled Haaland down in the box in the second half, so it should be a penalty. Change is only happening if Qatar comes in, or else this continues for another decade, says Mo. Look, I said it in the week, and I don't think people really took it seriously, so I'll say it again. We lost. We had an opportunity to get the Glazers out, get rid of the debt, and spend money, which we need to do, and we lost. The Glazers lost the opportunity so that they could stay and take more money out of the football club. We lost. I think Ten Hag looks lost. I think the team is lost. And I think the fans need to wake up to the fact that we have lost. The Glazers out and a brand new start would have given us a chance. We will never be successful with the Glazers. We know that. And that's what our future is. It should have been Ten Hag, not we are shite, says Ving. And first successful season, second shit season, third season sack, and the cycle repeats. Crisis at its peak, says Football Bloods. Well, let's do the player ratings because, you know, I feel we're probably going round in circles, aren't we, if I'm being honest. You know, I'm interested to watch the fan forum myself. So let's do the player ratings. Anana, I'd give him a 7 today. I actually think he was man of the match by a very, very long way. Very, very long way. You know, goalkeeper man of the match against Man City when you lose 3-0 says it all. I don't need to say anything about that at all. Delo, probably a 5, probably the best in the back 4, to be honest. Evans, 3, absolutely. I like Johnny Evans. I've always liked Johnny Evans, and I still like Johnny Evans, but he got relegated with Leicester last year. He's 35. He's not a Premier League centre-back, and he's playing for Man United. I mean, this is just a prime example of what the problems are with United, that we're signing Johnny Evans and playing him in games like this. If you'd have said to me in May, Johnny Evans will be playing at centre-back for Man United and Manchester Derby, you and me would be crying. I can't believe it's a reality. Absolutely ridiculous. Maguire, he ain't very good. 4. He ain't good. He ain't the player he thinks he is. He ain't the player some of you think he is. And he certainly isn't the player the media sell him to be. He ain't very good. He's an average centre-back. He is Michael Keane. He is Tyrone Mings. He's just that level. And he gets hyped up to being Sergio Ramos. He's not that good. I'm not saying he's rubbish. I've never said he's rubbish. But he is not good enough to start for Man United. If you're playing Sheffield United or you're playing Copenhagen, he probably can be man of the match. But when you're playing the best teams, he ain't quick enough. He made countless mistakes. But what about that header he missed that hit Delo? He did give a penalty away against Haaland. He was lucky it didn't get given. Just not good enough. Lindelof, again, playing at left back, out of position. I have sympathy for him. I have sympathy for the players that were playing out of position. I've got to say, I have got sympathy for that. But it wasn't very good. I think there was a couple of chances Foden should have scored as well, other than the goal he did score. So Amrabat, 5, didn't play very well. Probably got subbed off because he was on a yellow card, but we were worse without him, if we're being honest. We were better in the first half with him. That substitution didn't work. I don't think he was great in the first half, but we were better with him in. McTominay was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. I thought he was crap against Sheffield United, and we picked him against Copenhagen. I thought he was crap against Copenhagen, and he's playing in the derby. I don't know what he does. I didn't know what he did for Mourinho. I didn't know what he did for Ollie. I didn't know what he did for Rangnick, and I don't know what he does for Ten Hag. But I've never been convinced by him. He's decent in the opposition's penalty box, but why is he still playing games for United? He must be prime Zidane in training. That's all I can say. He must be. Eriksson, 4. Just if you're playing against, I don't know, Preston at home in the cup, put Eriksson in the team. He'll run the show. If you're playing against Man City and you need someone to be physical and run around, he can't do it. Don't know what that's all about. Ten Hag's been here for a year and we haven't got a style of play. It took Ange 4 months, yet we're still playing long ball, says Porch. Ten Hag is going to be the quickest manager to get 50 wins in our history. That's all I'm going to keep saying. Gandalf, thanks for your super chat. Rashford, look, yeah, it wasn't great, and he should have scored that chance 3. You know, I like Rashford, but it gets to a point where, yeah, you've got to leave him out. But whether he'll do it or not, I don't know. Bruno wasn't very good. I have sympathy for Bruno, like I have sympathy for Lindelof, because he's out of position. He's crap on the right wing. I don't get this. I mean, would Pep Guardiola put Erling Haaland on the left wing? He wouldn't do it. Why are we putting our best player, our captain, on the right wing to put Scott McTominay at number 10? Why not put Bruno at number 10 and put Anthony on the right from the start? Or, you know, why not put Mount? You know, I don't get that. I do not get why Bruno Fernandes keeps getting put on the wing. I don't get it. I do not get it. It just didn't make any sense. When is it time to seriously question the manager for making rubbish decisions? My bad, though. I forgot our fan base is as spineless as the club. HW, I don't think this fan base is spineless. I think you're stupid. Instead of saying Ten Hag out, tell us what happens after that. That's what I want to know. I don't mind you saying Ten Hag out. It's up to you. But I think you're stupid to say Ten Hag out and then call people spineless. What are you going to do after you sack Ten Hag? Please tell me this. This is what I want to know. What are you going to do after you sack Ten Hag? £800 million of debt. He gets paid off. New manager. Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Where are you going to find this manager from? Who's available? What are you going to do? And then when that new manager comes in, what budget are you going to find for them? And what's that manager going to say when he goes, well, I don't like Anthony. No, I don't really like Martinez. Højlund's not the striker I would like. Rashford, not really sure about him. Bruno, you're going to have to... You've got to work with them. If you want the job, you've got to play Rashford and Bruno, and you're going to have to use Anthony because we can't get rid of him either, and you're going to have to use Højlund. What? You know, this is what I mean about Ten Hag out. It's like throwing your toys out the pram. You're not kids anymore. You're grown adults. What is sacking Ten Hag going to do? Wake up, accept what we are. The Glazers have ruined the football club. We're a mid-table team. Get on with it. You're sacking a manager because you think we can compete with Man City if we get a new manager in. I know it's not what you want to hear. I can't give you any positivity, but you need to wake up. This club's fucking broke. It's done. There is no coming back. Stop sacking managers because you think you're going to fight for the title. We're not even going to get top 4. There's no money left. The squad is full of overpaid players that aren't good enough. We can't sell anybody. We can't sell anybody because they're on stupid wages. We can't buy anybody because there's no money left. And you want to sack a manager. Why? What's the point? We may as well just carry on as we are. We are what we are. There is no hope. There is no change. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You're all saying, I'll stick up for the manager. It's not I'm sticking up for the manager. I'm saying to you, what is it you're looking to change? Tell me what you're going to change and how it's going to make a difference. I'm not saying keep Ten Hag because we're going to win the league. We're not. We're not going to get top 4. We're not going to do anything this year. But your plan's not going to make anything better. We're not that club anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Everybody else has got their head in the clouds. Oh, we can still be good. We can still be good. We can't be good. There's no point sacking the manager. It will cause more problems than we've got now. The same players will still be here. They won't be able to sell them. They're on ridiculous money. Their Glazers are still here. We're not changing anything. We are what we are. Consistently now, year in, year out, no matter who the manager is, we get battered. We get battered. I said in the summer, we'll get beaten comfortably at least 3 times this year. I'm not sure we've had the battering I thought we would, but Brighton and Man City have done us easily, and it will happen again. Why won't you admit that Erik Ten Hag is just as pragmatic as previous managers? Just look at the possession stats. Daniel, you're not listening. If you want to sack the manager, that's fine. I'm just saying, I don't think we should. I don't see the point. I don't know what it does. And I know you want to find somebody to blame, but the whole club from top to bottom you can find the blame. All I'm saying is, Ten Hag out, fine, do it. But what's your plan then? There isn't one. There absolutely isn't one. I'm looking at Sky here and Gary Neville's laughing. He's laughing his head off. He doesn't give a shit. He don't give a shit. But look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, of course. Emotions are running high. Rasmus today, look, in all honesty, probably a 5. It wasn't a penalty. He's living in a graveyard shift. It is what it is. Mount may as well have not bothered. I don't know what he did. I mean, I do not know what he did. I don't know why we bought him. I don't get it. Was a good player at Chelsea, but I don't know why we bought him. Reguilon, I didn't even know he came on. I didn't even notice that sub. That's how bad I thought that was. Garnacho always gives it a go. Anthony, yeah, didn't really do much. Martial didn't even notice him. Ten Hag, yeah, I get it. An Arna man of the match with 89%. I mean, that's a landslide. That is an absolute landslide. There's no two ways about it. It's an absolute landslide because we got stuffed today by Man City, and our manager was and our goalkeeper was man of the match. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to say. Look, I could go on and on. There's a forum. Ricky's on it. I'm sure everyone else has got a lot of things to say as well. But if I'm being absolutely honest, I've just been sent a message here that I think I need to read. If I'm being absolutely honest, I'm not sitting here defending Ten Hag today. I'm not here to sit and defend Ten Hag. He got a lot wrong. But what I am here to sit and do is give a reality bite, in my opinion, that if you sack Ten Hag, what do you think that's going to achieve? You're just hiding from the truth. You know, you're hiding from. It's like putting a plaster on a wound that needs stitches, a major surgery. Sacking the manager is not going to change anything, and I still think that there is probably quite a large percentage of our fan base tonight that thinks that sacking the manager will make a difference. Like, you know, Darren Fletcher will be in charge for the rest of the season. You know, we might get a bounce like we did with Ollie and they'll give him the job. And that's another 3 years down the pan. Like, I get the frustration. I'm frustrated. I'm really tired. I'm fed up of certain players back in the team every fucking few months. I'm fed up of the media, you know, telling us these players are good enough when they're fucking not. I'm fed up of the Glazers. I'm fed up of the recruitment. I'm fed up of having so many injuries. I'm fed up about the whole club from top to bottom. But I'm telling you now, sacking the manager won't do anything. It will do nothing. In fact, it will make things worse because a new manager comes in and he's stuck with a load of players that he can't get rid of. And every manager you change, the next manager's job is harder. If I'm the next manager at Man United, I'm fucked. Because I come in and I go, can I have some money? You can have a little bit. Can I sell some of Ten Hag's players? No. Can I sell Rashford? No. Can I sell Bruno? No. Can I get Maguire? No. So I've got to work with all this. Yeah. I'm fucked. And that's, you know, it gets harder and harder to be a Man United manager because there's such a backlog of deadwood that won't go. So, and also, as I said, Ten Hag beats Fulham next week. He's the quickest manager in our history to get to 50 wins. You know, I think we just need to screw our head on a little bit. You know, we've got to be better than this. As a fan base, we've got to be better than this. We can't hound another manager out and expect it to make any difference. Things are shit. We're not playing well. You know, there is an issue around the way we're playing. There is an issue around team selections. Some of them have been shocking. But sacking a manager, what will it do? I think that has to be in the head. What does sacking a manager do? It makes things worse. It does. Parser says, I can't believe how realistic your manager career in the AFC is compared to Man United. Win, lose, win, lose. I know, maybe it's just United. I'd rather watch trial and error by sacking managers than complain about Glazers every match, which is a dead deal, says Laugh. And Erik Ten Hag is not the issue. Yes, got a lot of things wrong, but there are players that don't care and are simply not good enough, says Adrian. Look, we've not even mentioned him. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Maguire and McTominay and Eriksson and Evans, and they were dreadful. But I really like him. But Marcus Rashford is a joke at the moment. An absolute joke. He's on 350 grand a week. He's the star player. He's meant to be one of the best players in Europe. And explain to me what his problem is. You know, Kyle Walker won 2 headers in a row. He won his own header. He won't challenge for the ball. He won't track back. He can't finish. His whole game is just dreadful at the moment. But look, it's not Rashford's fault. It's not Maguire's fault. It's not McTominay's fault. It's not Ten Hag's fault. It's not Eriksson's fault. It's not Evans' fault. You know, it's not exclusively John Murtaugh's fault or Richard Arnold's fault or the fitness department. It's a collective. If I knew that Marcus Rashford was the problem, I'd sell him. And everything's back to normal. But it wouldn't be. If I knew Ten Hag was the problem, I'd sack him. And everything's back to normal. But it isn't. The only thing I think in that football club that you can change that might make us get back to normal is to get rid of the Glazers, and we can't do that. I mean, I don't even think replacing Richard Arnold will definitely change things, or John Murtagh. There's so many problems in that club. So many problems. Anyway, let's have a look what they've got to say on the forum. I'm very interested to watch this tonight. Let's get over there. Thanks for watching. Just on the official, by the way, YouTube have released a video and public posts saying that the problem is with YouTube. So, widespread problem with YouTube this afternoon. Apologies for that. Not our fault, but let's see what the forum plays out like.